Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Bible Illustrated Hands. As I have mentioned in my previous episode, welcome to my new apartment. So keep donating on Patreon so I can obtain even more new apartments. Top tier patrons will receive vaccine mandate religious exemption forms signed by me, by which you can supply religious exemption forms that are provided by your archdiocese. Wink. So today's question comes from Walelai Sekupe. I apologize if I mispronounce that. His question is, again, I assume that you're a guy. Sorry if I misgendered you. Do Orthodox have novenas dedicated to saints or similar devotions? Thank you for your question, Walelai. Orthodox do not have novenas. The exception to this, I apologize, are the Western Rite Orthodox, who have transferred a number of today's typically Catholic devotions. So in a way, there are novenas. However, when we talk about Orthodox mainstream, there are no novenas, but there are similar forms of devotion. Primarily, there you have the Ecatist. Now, liturgical purists will claim that there is only ever one Ecatist, the one dedicated to the Most Holy Theotokos. And while that is true, that does not mean that there are a lot of Ecatists dedicated to different saints. And people read these Ecatists during their private devotion, and even in churches in Serbia. Yeah, so there's that. These Ecatists are dedicated to a wide range of saints. Now, what is typical of novena is to read a novena for 9 consecutive days, and it might have different prayers for every day, or the same prayer is read 9 times over the course of 9 days, or the same prayer is read 9 times over. In Orthodoxy, we have this devotion that when we really want to obtain something, we read an Ecatist to a certain saint for 40 consecutive days. Now, this is sort of typically a Russian tradition. It isn't really Orthodoxy universal, but in today's world of globalization, who can say what is a typically Russian devotion that is absent from other churches? For example, one can read the Ecatist to Saint Xenia of Petersburg when one wants to obtain, for example, an apartment. So I read the Ecatist and wow, I simply don't know what to do with all these apartments. I can't even remember them all. But joking aside, typically a person will take up an Ecatist, read an Ecatist for 40 days. This can be for healing, finding a spouse, resolving an issue. I myself am reading an Ecatist to Saint Xenia because I have a workplace issue that I want to be resolved. I simply have to pick between 2 workplaces and I have no idea what to do. So if you would remember me in your prayers, that would be nice. Now, reading a prayer for 40 days can become tedious, especially because Ecatists take at least about 20 minutes to read through and through, and even more if you do actually bother with introductory prayers, which would include the Trisagion, which is a typical beginning to Orthodox prayers, and then if you add Psalm 50 or 51 in typical Protestant Bible psalm numbering, plus Nicene Constantinopolitan Creed, it goes about over a half an hour. So yeah, but it is a lovely devotion, I would say. Orthodox do, grow attached to their saints, and while most of us do not read Ecatist to them on a regular basis, we might say Troparion and Kontakion to them on regular or semi-regular basis. Troparion and Kontakion being like these 2 short stanzas that ask for saints' intercession, and usually they're very beautiful, And also the golden rule of the thumb: the shorter they are, the older they are. For example, Troparion to an apostle is like, I don't know, maybe 10 words, while Troparion to Saint Peter of Montenegro can be like, I don't know, 100 words even. I didn't really count, but I'm really curious to find out. So yeah, there's that. So no novenas, but yes, we do have something that parallels it. Also, we might serve Molieben or supplicatory service. Again, this might be devoted to a saint, but it can also be performed for a specific intent, like for healing, for traveling, and so on. Again, this tends to be typically Russian, but is more prevalent in Orthodoxy general. I have heard that at least with Greeks, so I would like if somebody would correct me on this, that at least in Greece it is more typical to, for example, serve a liturgy for a specific purpose, not unlike Catholics serve mass for particular intention. And I think that even Metropolitan Ziziolas said that while this can be done, it isn't problematic. These liturgies need to be open to the public. They mustn't be, so to speak, a private liturgies or private masses. So yeah, I went off the tangent here. So yeah, pray for me and I'll pray for you. Bye.